Hello, welcome to the Minimalist CTC. My name is Chris, and today is another new knife day. So, this isn't brand new, but it's new to me. Organized a trade on Reddit on Knife Swap and found something that I think I'd enjoy, and we made a trade for it. So, this guy right here is, of course, a Pena X series. We have a Raptor with brown micarta. So you've seen some other unboxings with Pena X series. They're pretty standard. We have the little cardboard sleeve, really nice packaging, a little bit of foam. You get a cleaning cloth, which I think these are like second to maybe Chris Reeve cloths that come with production knives. They're really nice. Have a few of them. Don't use them very often. We get our forbidden salt packet and the knife. So let's clean all this off and take a look at what we got. So this is the Pena X series Raptor. So it's very similar in nature to the Apache, but has a few key differences that we're going to go over, and which I think I'm going to really enjoy using it over the Apache. So as you can see, pretty standard design language for a Pena. We have the little stick clip here. We have a flipping mechanism. The swedges that he's known for in his blades are already showing on the top of the blade here. So let's get it out and see what we got. Oh yeah, that's nice. Um, we got a satin finish M390 hollow grind. See that is a razor blade of a knife. We have a bolster lock with a steel insert liner lock or steel insert on the bolster. See, not very drop shutty. We'll take it apart on the disassembly video and see if it needs any lube. But yeah, this the flipper tab on the top, really good deployment mechanism. Awesome. So let's get the first things out of the way. Just quick size comparison. Um, Here it is against your standard American $2 bill. You can see it's about in line with that. What do we got laying around here? Pretty standard candle, a Civivi Elementum, and why not a little bit bigger of a knife? How about a 940? So you can see as far as overall blade length, it's a little shorter than the Elementum, and then of course the 940 is a much larger knife. And since I have one handy because we're going to talk about it, let's look at it versus the Apache, which we got right here. And what we see is, are my eyes deceiving me? Do we get a little bit shorter? Yeah, they're roughly the same size, maybe a millimeter difference in the two. But as we go over this, I'm going to talk a lot about this knife in regards to the Apache because we are very similar territory here, and kind of compare and contrast the differences in the two. So what we have as far as construction, you're going to end up with T8 hardware, which is very nice. I very much appreciate that. We have titanium throughout, titanium backspacer, titanium bolsters, micarta inlays, which pretty much is going to mirror what you're going to get with this guy. You're going to immediately see one of the main differences is going to be in the flipping mechanism, where the Apache has a rounded flipper right here with the jimping, which opens fairly easily. But this guy has a little mohawk coming up. So it's actually a slanted bevel on the top of it instead of the rounded edge that you get with the Apache. So similar opening mechanism, but definitely different. Whereas this one, it's from the ones I've played with before and this one right here, this one's going to be harder to fail because you have so much more purchase because you can push down on it and back. Whereas this one, if you're pushing down and back, it'll work, but it's much more like kind of like flicking a lighter is the best thing I can give you an example of. But while we're talking about opening mechanism, and you'll see like this one, it has a singular opening mechanism. It is the flipper tab. Uh, you could, I suppose, get in there with a pinch grip and get that blade out if you wanted to traditional open it. But with the Apache, it does come with a nail nick. So if you're have a situation like in the lunchroom where flicking open your knife is not considered the most kosher thing, it does have a traditional nail nick for that type of opening as well, which I kind of appreciate, but at the same time, it's not something I need. I will never use that nail nick for anyone else's convenience. I'm always going to flick this guy. So that being said, let's look at some of the other things. You got a little bit different size of a bolster here, whereas the Raptor has a larger real estate of its bolster. You have a different blade shape. So the blade shapes are very similar as far as their geometry. You have that standard like thick blade stock going into a swedge, coming back into a thicker tip on both of these. But the Raptor has a hollow grind, and it's going to be, I'm not sure how much I can show you that on camera, but you're going to have a thinner blade at the tip versus the Apache here. Both are great little slicers, but as far as like being just an absolute laser beam through things, this guy is going to take the cake because that hollow grind is phenomenal. Another thing you're going to see a difference in his handle. And so back to back, you can kind of see they're facing the same way, but their handles are almost mirror images of each other. Whereas this one swoops forward, whereas this one swoops back. And it's an interesting design choice to go with a sway back handle on the Raptor. I'm sorry, yeah, the Raptor. I wish that he would have kept the traditional handle on the Raptor. Just a personal preference, because when it fits in the hand, this one has a very good grip when it's in the hand. You can get behind it and do whatever cutting you need to do. With this one, with a sway back handle, it's exactly that. It's kind of meant to be a like a paring knife, a working knife where the meat of your hand goes on the inside and the your fingers curl around the back. So it's it works really good in that respect, as far as being able to situate itself in the hand for that type of a grip. As far as a traditional hand carry like this, it's a little bit more uncomfortable than this one. I can already tell that like the bump back here kind of does push into the pad of where my little finger is. If I was going to squeeze it, this is not something I would want to like grip all day in this grip. But as far as just an EDC, pulling it out to cut the few things I need to cut during the day, um, I don't have any complaints there. It's just an observation. So the next thing I want to talk about with this knife, as far as the first impression and observations, is we're in the same design language as Pena as far as this pocket clip. The pocket clip, if you've seen my other videos, I have a growing graveyard over here of Pena pocket clips that I absolutely hate. Um, I don't know what to do with them. They just kind of sit there. This is another example of a pocket clip that I just don't care for. Um, if we're talking like, so the ones that those are associated with is I have this the Pena Bravo. I'll put it clip side up, and the Pena Mula. I've replaced these both with MXG clips. Now the clip that I'm using for both of these is not a clip that is that they market for a Pena. It is for the zero tolerance 0450, and the Mula I actually had to do a little bit of modifications because the screws that he uses in this one are different than every other screw he's using for the knives that I have. And so I had to actually use my Dremel to widen out the screw holes. And there's a video on my channel if that's something that strikes your fancy and you would like to do that to yours as well. But in my opinion, having this clip right here, which is deep carry, which the other one is not, and it actually is very easy to slide in and out of the pocket, whereas the one that came on is not. Turned it into a whole new knife for me. This thing gets a lot of pocket time. It's really easy to get in and out, and I love it. We're getting in the same territory with the Bravo. I've been testing this a lot lately, and having the pocket clip, and I'll pull its counterpart here out. This aesthetically, I like the way this looks. It's anodized. It looks great, but it's not deep carry, and it's also got some of the same problems with the other Pena clips where it's got a single point of contact and it just tears up your pockets. So let me show you what that looks like in practicality. So here's what we're working with when you have the stock clip off. So the stock clip sits right like that. It's pretty easy to take it off. T8 driver. And so one of the interesting things is when it comes off, you see that the top hole back here is cammed out a little bit. And I can't find a good reason for that. As far as when I'm looking at the way that the clip fits on there, there's no um, reciprocal bit that would fit in there for any sort of reason. And it makes me kind of wonder if, like, in the design phase of this, there was a different clip that may have been designed to have a titanium bit that would like fit in there, or potentially do something different. Not quite sure, but the clip that I'm going to be using is this right here. Like, again, it's the MXG clip. Um, they are not paying me anything. I just really enjoy their product, and so it's very easy to install. Just use the original screws. You won't have to use any aftermarket parts or anything that, or source any aftermarket screws. Same screws that came with it. And so what you end up with is a deep carry clip versus this one where um, this much is hanging out of your pocket versus nothing is hanging out of your pocket. And so let me show you what that looks like in a practical sense. And close these guys up, move some tools around. Okay, so let's break out the Daisy Dukes. So typically when I am carrying one of these, I will have my wallet in my pocket and I will have my knife sitting right beside it. I usually back pocket carry. So in this case, the knife is completely hidden. There's nothing coming out of the pocket. There's nothing showing, just the clip. Versus if I were to use a stock clip, and we use this as an analog, you have that going on. Like this much to get caught on stuff or sit outside your pocket. It also rides up closer to your hip bone. So if there's some situations where you're sitting in a less than comfortable chair, like this is pushing into your hip bone. Not my favorite. So, and what I was talking about earlier, as far as the clip destroys your pocket, you end up with all the spring tension of this clip is focused into that one point. So when you're pushing it into your pocket, you see how it's pushing the denim down, and then it clicks over it, and when you pull it back out, it pulls on it. So day in day out, this happening, it just destroys the denim. Like you end up with fraying and the stitching popping, versus with this guy, the gooseneck on it is a lot more forgiving, and as it goes down, it's just a very smooth slide, very gentle slide out. Now there could be an argument for something like this where if you're concerned about this falling out of your pocket, this is harder to pull out of your pocket than this is. Absolutely. Um, in my use case, I don't have any issues with that. So, in conclusion, I'm digging this guy a lot. I'm looking forward to using it. I'm looking forward to disassembling it and seeing if the insides are any different than this guy right here. I am looking forward to having this in my pocket. The deep carry clip nature of it is a game changer for me personally. As with all the pinion knives that I own, being able to have that clip come in and out of my pocket as frictionless as possible and being more accessible than this is as a big deal for me personally. Um, Overall, I'm very happy with the purchase. I'm very happy with the way this thing looks. Um, it's a knife. We should probably see if it cuts, right? I mean, this thing looks stupid sharp, but oh yeah, I'm not putting hardly any pressure on this thing, and it's just going. Yeah, this is going to be a good one. So, uh, you see a lot more drops of the Apache. And the Apache is a great knife. There's nothing wrong with it. I like it a lot. But I'm guessing that as I continue to get used to this thing, this will take over as my go-to small Pena, and this one may actually go up for sale soon. But so far so good. Loving the way this thing looks. Loving the way it feels in the hand, and look forward to testing it. So I'll probably have a disassembly video up here in the near future and then a final review at some point. But thank you all for being a part of the community. Thank you all for hanging out with me and have a great rest of your week.